I'm Mr. معاذ Sheikh, founder and CEO of Starzplay. You're welcome at أولا اقتصاد وأعمال. First of all, we all know that coronavirus pandemic has impacted the whole scene. So how did the pandemic impact Starzplay and its performance?
Sure. So thank you for having me, Rania. It's a pleasure to speak to you. So during the pandemic, we saw almost 600% growth in usage of our service. So and we experienced two things. We experienced existing customers consuming more, and then we also saw new customers and new subscribers signing up for the service. But our consumption peaked during the lockdowns in the Gulf market, as well as in Lebanon and Egypt in April 2020. That's when the consumption peaked, because the lockdowns were also the strictest at that time.
What about the content? Did you work on increasing the content on the platform?
That's correct. We did expand and increase our content offering as well, both for Hollywood as well as Arabic content. We added about 2,000 hours of content, which is about 20% more content during the pandemic between March and September 2020.
Okay, if we want to analyze the data you have, so where do you think the largest demand came from which countries, and from which age group, and even on what type of videos?
Sure. So our two largest markets are Saudi and UAE, and then followed by Morocco and Egypt are about same size in terms of consumption. But the biggest increase in demand for us came from Saudi as a market, where both the consumption as well as new subscribers signing up for the service increased. And then in terms of the age group, Rania, almost 75% of our customers are between the age group of 18 to 35-year-olds. And this is the age group where we saw the biggest demand. Maybe 18 to 25, we saw the biggest increase in terms of new subscribers coming to the service. It's the 18 to 25-year-olds that made up the biggest part of the growth.
Yes, we know that you are competing with a very huge international company, which is Netflix. What can you tell us about Starzplay's competitive advantage?
Sure. So Rania, this is a business where there are four aspects of the overall service that are extremely important, and you need to deliver all four. So everything starts with the content. Of course, you need to deliver the latest movies, TV shows, series in all three languages. So for example, in English, Arabic, as well as French. So it starts with content. Then the second part that's extremely important is in this part of the world, the credit card penetration is low. So people do not have credit cards, or they don't like to use credit cards online. So then we allow our subscribers to sign up for the service and pay for the service through their mobile phone bills and mobile plans. And we also partner with the telecom operators for your phone lines and your internet access. We work with them to include Starzplay in that service. So that convenient payment is also very important. And the third aspect of the service that's extremely important is the overall experience that the customer experiences, whether it's the big screen TV like Samsung or LG or Sony, or on your mobile phones. So all of these things have to come together for the customer to really enjoy the service. I have to say that for us, our strength, in addition to content, is our partnerships with mobile companies and telecom operators that allow us, that give customers convenient payment options. Because if you don't have a credit card, you cannot subscribe to Netflix. And that's 80–90% of the population in the Arab world. So that's the problem we have really solved, is made it easy for everyone to subscribe to the service through their phone number.
Okay. You received lately a $25 million debt financing. First of all, please explain for us what's the difference between fundraising and debt financing.
Sure. So when you raise funds, you have two options. One is you give equity against the funds you are raising. So that means you give shares in your company, you give a part of your company to the equity investor, and then they become a shareholder in your business. So that's called equity financing or equity fundraising. So you basically sell a part of the company to the new investor. This type of fundraising is very popular, especially early in the company's life, because there's no other way of attracting capital. You have to give part of your company. So this is called equity. The other option is debt, which means it's a loan. So in case of a loan, you get the loan, but then you have to pay the loan back after a certain period of time. Usually loan is given to companies that have certain amount of revenues, or they're reaching profitability, because the lender or the bank that's going to give you the loan, just like whether it's a car loan or a home loan, at some point they want their money back. And the only way you can give the money back is if you're making money. And so loan usually comes for companies in later stages. So over the 6 years, we have raised 3 rounds of equity financing. And then this is the first time we have raised debt financing.
Okay, and how are you planning to invest the money?
So there are 2 areas we are investing the money in, Rania. One is we are creating more content. We are creating more original content. We are working with producers in Lebanon, for example, in Egypt, to create new TV shows, to create new movies that will be originals for Starzplay. And then the second way we invest money is we build awareness and we do marketing of our service. And so we invest in digital marketing as well as other marketing activities to create demand for our service and create demand for our brand.
Yes, you received the funds from Ru'ya Venture, right? So apart from funding, what are you expecting from Ru'ya Ventures?
So Ru'ya is primarily a lender. So they are not involved in the day-to-day operations of our business, because they're a debt debt financer. So just like you get a loan for your home or your car, the bank doesn't necessarily come ask you each month. As long as you are meeting the obligations of making the payments on a monthly basis or whatever your terms are, they do not get involved in the business day to day. But having said that, Ru'ya is backed by Maqabla in Abu Dhabi, and which is a very large sovereign fund from Abu Dhabi government. So having access to those kind of investors behind Ru'ya gives us coverage, gives us relationships in certain cases that we would not receive from a typical bank, if you will. So there is some strategic benefit that comes from working with them.
Yes. Is Starzplay a profitable company now?
Today we're not, Rania, but we are very close to becoming profitable, and this is why the loan from Ruya is quite important, because they've done their due diligence, they've validated that we will be becoming profitable, and hence they're confident in giving us the loan. But we are not profitable today, but we will be by end of this year.
Okay, and are you thinking to exit in the near future?
Not in the near future, Rania. We think we are just scratching the surface right now, and as good as last 5 years have been for the company in terms of growth and success, inshallah, we think there's a lot more growth and success to come in next 5 years. So we would like to build more value in the company before we exit.
So what do you think the challenges that would face Starzplay in these coming 5 years?
So there's a few challenges, Rania. Number one, like you said in earlier, we are competing with a global brand, and with very, very deep pockets and lots of resources. So today, most estimates have us at either number one or have us tied with Netflix in market share, as we both have 30 to 32% market share between us and Netflix each. So right now we're able to keep up with them, but in next 4 or 5 years we will have to evolve and change and improve ourselves to keep up with such a global competitor. So keeping up with Netflix obviously is one risk. The second risk, Rania, we face is, we are blessed with a very large Arab population. We're talking about 400 million people, but they are spread in 20 different countries, and their interests in content, even though all speak the common language, all speak Arabic, but their interests in content vary, both on Hollywood, English, and as you know, in Maghreb, you have to have a French content offering as well. To some extent, even in Levant, you need French content offering. So this makes the market very fragmented. So one needs to create an offering or a service that appeals to each one of these segments if you're serving the entire population. So I think the population fragmentation is also one of the challenges when it comes to serving this part of the world.
Okay, thank you again, Mr. معاذ, for being with us at أولا اقتصاد والأعمال, and looking forward for more prosperity.
Thank you, Rani. Thank you for having me.